All right, let's talk about a problem that I know hits pretty much every developer these days. How do you get your remote tools to actually talk to your local server? In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to solve this and do it securely using a really powerful feature called InstaTunnel MCP mode. Let's dive in.
So picture this. You've just built this awesome service, and it's running right there on your machine, on good old localhost. But now some remote tool, maybe it's VS Code, maybe it's an AI assistant like Claude, needs to connect to it. How in the world do you bridge that gap securely and without pulling your hair out? And that is exactly what InstaTunnel's MCP mode is for. MCP stands for Machine to Client Protocol, which sounds fancy, but it just means it's designed specifically for this one job: creating a secure tunnel from your local host straight out to the public internet so those remote clients can connect. So here's the game plan. We'll start with the local dev challenge, see how InstaTunnel's MCP mode swoops in to solve it, get you set up with a command line tool, run your very first tunnel, and then we'll wrap up with some awesome pro tips using the dashboard wizard and security tokens to make you a total expert.
Okay, first things first, let's really dig into the problem here. We live in a world where localhost, as great as it is, just doesn't cut it anymore for a lot of modern workflows.
So your machine is your fortress, right? You've got your code, your servers, your entire environment all tuned up perfectly. But more and more, we're relying on these amazing cloud-based services. And those tools, they don't live on your machine, so they have absolutely no idea how to find localhost 8787. They need a real, public, and secure address to connect to.
Okay, so that's the problem. How do we fix it? Well, let's take a look at how InstaTunnel provides the absolute perfect tool for this exact job.
Now, what's really important to get is that MCP mode isn't just some generic all-purpose tunnel. No, it's purpose-built for integrating with IDEs and AI assistants. Because it's a professional tool, it's available on pro and business plans, and with that comes much stricter MCP-specific protections and even rate limits to keep your connections safe and sound.
Okay, enough talk. Let's actually get our hands dirty. Getting started is, you'll be happy to hear, incredibly simple.
It really just boils down to two steps. First, you'll install the InstaTunnel command line tool, the CLI using npm, and second, you'll just log in to authenticate your account. That's what links the CLI to your pro or business plan and unlocks all the cool MCP features.
All right, once you're all set up, we get to the main event, firing up the tunnel. And this is where you've got one key decision to make.
So, the big question is, should you use Transport V1 or V2? And the right choice here depends completely on what kind of traffic your local server is expecting to handle.
You know, the difference is actually super simple when you break it down. Think of Transport V1 as your go-to for standard, one-and-done requests, kind of like a webhook. But V2 is built for streaming. We're talking long-lived connections, real-time data pushes. For most of these modern AI and IDE tools, trust me, V2 is going to be your best friend.
All right, so let's put it all together. The command you're going to run looks something like this. You just tell InstaTunnel which local port you want to forward. We're using 8787 here. Then you add the -MCP flag to turn on the magic, and you specify -transport v2 for that slick streaming connection. Hit enter, and just like that, your local server is live on the internet. How cool is that?
Now, you could totally stop right there and be good to go. But let's check out a couple of pro tips that are going to make your life even easier and way more secure.
Okay, pro tip number 1, and seriously, this is my top recommendation. Just skip the manual commands altogether and use the MCP setup wizard right inside your InstaTunnel dashboard. It is the easy button that helps you avoid all those pesky typos and config mistakes by building the perfect command for you.
It couldn't be easier, really. You just open the dashboard, pop in your local port and whatever subdomain you want, and bam! It generates the perfect command line for you to copy and paste. No guesswork involved.
But wait, it gets even better. This is the magic part. It doesn't just give you the command, it also creates the exact JSON configuration file you need for clients like VS Code, Claude, you name it.
And boom, this is what it spits out. Clean, perfectly formatted JSON, with your unique tunnel URL already plugged in. You just copy this little snippet and paste it into your IDE settings. It literally eliminates any chance of a configuration error. It's fantastic.
Okay, one last pro tip, and this one is really, really important. Anytime, and I mean anytime you expose an endpoint to the public internet, you have to be thinking about security. So InstaTunnel lets you add a shared secret token. This gives you a crucial second layer of security, what we call defense in depth.
And here's how you do it. It's pretty simple. First, you generate a nice, strong, random token. Then, you set it as an environment variable so InstaTunnel can read it. And finally, you tell your remote client, your IDE, to send that token in an authorization header with every single request. This makes sure that only the clients that have the secret key can get into your local server.
All right, let's do a quick recap of the most important stuff. Number 1, MCP mode is your purpose-built solution for connecting local stuff to remote IDEs and AIs. Number 2, for modern tools, you almost always want to use Transport v2. Number 3, the dashboard wizard is your best friend. It's the fastest, easiest, most error-proof way to get going. And finally, and most importantly, always protect your public endpoint with a security token.
And that's really all there is to it. You've now built a secure bridge from your local machine to the cloud. So the only question left is, with this new power to connect all your tools, what amazing thing are you going to build next?